And welcome everyone to the June 17, 2020 Council Work Session. For joining us in this remote meeting format we're using in response to Governor Brown's Stay Home, Save Lives order. Format enables the City Council to meet and take care of business while keeping its members, staff, and the public safe. For work sessions like this one, where there is no opportunity for public comment, those wishing to access the meeting can do so by watching the live stream available on our website, the broadcast on Comcast Channel 21, or by calling in to one of the phone numbers listed for this meeting on the public webcasts and meeting materials webpage. And as always, other avenues of communication with me and city councilors are available, including email and voicemail. Thank you again for joining us. And so then we begin with our first item on the agenda, which is the CAP 2.0 update. Manager?
Thank you, Mayor. As you know, we've done quite a bit of work on this since I think the last time we were with council. So I'm just going to let Chelsea Clinton from the City Manager's Office kick off a presentation on that.
Good afternoon. Good to see you all again. And for folks who are watching at home, my name is Chelsea Clinton. I'm the Sustainability Manager for the City of Eugene. Glad to be here again. I'm going to be on my screen now. All right. So today I'll give an overview of the Mayor's CRO ad hoc work group, the process they went through over the past few months, and a summary of the outcomes of that work, including 12 themes for the CAP 2.0 revisions, ideas for potential new actions, and a community engagement proposal. And just to take a step back, the CAP 2.0 work over the last few months has been this work group, so that's why it's the focus of my presentation today. So as you know, we released the first draft of the CAP 2.0.
Oh, not good. Slug.
Oh. I think if folks could mute themselves, that'd be helpful. Pause for a second. All right, I'll keep going. So as you know, we released the first draft of the CAP 2.0 in November 2019. We reconvened the Mayor CRO ad hoc work group in February of this year with the purpose of providing guidance on how to modify that draft CAP 2.0 and to provide input on additional actions to add to the plan to fully meet the CRO goals. And I'll just read through those extra bullet points on the screen. We set out to do those extra bullets. So to come up with high-level topics or themes that would guide the document revision process, evaluation criteria for additional actions to add to the plan, additional actions to add to the CAP 2.0 to achieve the CRO goals, including some prioritization of suggested additional actions, and then to have a conversation on CAP 2.0 community engagement process moving forward. And I'll hopefully hit on all these bullets as we walk through the presentation today. The members of the work group are listed on this slide on the screen. The work group included broad community representation and included Mayor Vinnis, Councilors Lenka, Councilor Semple, and many other representatives from the community, including folks from 350 Eugene, Sunrise Eugene, the Sustainability Commission, the Human Rights Commission, Budget Committee, and many ECC partners, Eugene Climate Collaborative partners like Lane County, EWEB, LTD, and the Chamber, and many other community voices. The work group met 4 times. I've included the date and a brief summary of each of the meetings. We're fortunate to have 2 in-person meetings before we began social distancing practices. And I just want to take a moment to appreciate the work group members for continuing to engage through all the changes we had in meeting format and being really committed to this work to the end. We had folks really stick with it and put a lot of time and effort into all this work, so appreciate them. So next I'll just hop into the 12 themes for revision. I'll go through each of those components and the outcomes that the work group accomplished over the past few months. So the 12 themes for revision. I shared these at the last work session, but I wanted to include them again here for reference as an important part. Oh, Brooke just told me that you can all see my talking points, so I don't know how to fix that. I'm gonna take a pause. I don't know how to fix that.
Chelsea, if you just expand this and just scroll down, it works that way too.
Expand.
Yeah, just kind of make the, leave it in this format, but make it a little bigger.
And can you just like hide this?
That works fine. Just go with that. That works fine.
That's perfect.
Okay. Sorry about that. All right. So I shared these at the last work session. So during the first two meetings, the 12 themes emerged as the areas that the work group members wanted to see addressed in the next draft of the CAP 2.0. Staff provided a detailed plan on how to address those concerns. For example, the work group members wanted to see more detail on prioritization and stronger connections to housing and transportation system plan. In response, the next draft will include more detailed actions, focus sections on key topics like housing and transportation, and a timeline. We also reviewed the data that will be in the next draft of the CAP 2.0 with the work group and heard feedback on how they wanted to see that pathway to the CRO presented. So next, I'll talk about the community ideas for potential action. So the work group identified that they wanted to see more actions included in the CAP 2.0. So in April, we opened an Engage Eugene survey for 3 weeks to collect ideas. We collected 300 ideas through that survey. We worked with the mayor's ad hoc work group to sort through and summarize those ideas into about 70 ideas for potential actions. And they were sorted into the categories on your screen, which align with a lot of the work in the CAP 2.0, the buckets that you've seen before. And just to provide a few examples of those actions, one was to accelerate implementation of the TSP and to prioritize the implementation of the pedestrian and bicycle projects. So that's an example of an action that came in through the survey that already aligns with our work. That's an action included in the CAP 2.0 already, which is great. But I would say actually most of the actions were new or provided extra detail about particular things folks wanted to see. So another example that kind of gets to that idea that you'll see in that list is folks wanted to see bike security issues addressed. So to investigate the police department's use of a bike index registry, to incentivize or consider regulations so that secure and covered bike parking is provided near the entrance of all public buildings and construction, and to create a fund to help folks who've had their bikes stolen. So there's a lot of synergies and also a lot more detail that come in through these actions that really provide us some detail and insight into what people are thinking and feeling around our climate work. And then next, the third outcome from the ad hoc work group was really a discussion around community engagement. Or actually, I'm going to go back for just a second. I wanted to make sure to address in the purpose statement that I talked about before, we talked about the purpose statement that I talked about at the top of the meeting. We talked about the work group really prioritizing these actions and evaluating the actions for inclusion in the CAP 2.0. The work group ended up not doing that work at this time, and I want to just explain that a little bit. So with 300 actions coming in April and really needing to finish up this document by the beginning of June, that is a tremendous amount of work. And so the work group decided that for now we want to include all the actions, and that at a future time when we look to implementation, there'll be more vetting that needs to be done. But for now, we included all those actions in the CAP 2.0. So next I'll talk about community engagement. So the work group discussed community engagement at their last meeting. Staff presented 6 items that I'll walk through in the next few slides, and the work group provided feedback on all these items. We heard general support for all these items, and then a couple of other ideas surfaced, which I'll touch on at the end. So first, we want to reconvene the equity panel. So we'll reconvene representatives from frontline communities to advise on the CAP 2.0 and CRO implementation. Second, we talked about citizen advisory committees. I think a key takeaway from the CAP 2.0 is that our climate policy doesn't happen in a vacuum. We are grateful for the role that the Sustainability Commission plays, and the many other citizen advisory groups play an important role too. And so there are many ways to get involved. So up on the screen, we have the Sustainability Commission, which is our key policy advisory group to City Council and the City Manager around sustainability. But I also just want to acknowledge the Budget Committee, Planning Commission, Human Rights Commission, Active Transportation Committee, and so on. There are many boards and commissions that play a role in our climate work, so there are many ways for folks to get involved and provide their thoughts to staff, council, and city manager. Third, we talked about the individual, household, and neighborhood action campaign. So the cities will roll out a communications and behavior change campaign to encourage climate action at the individual, household, and neighborhood level in fall 2020. The goal of this work is to engage folks wherever they're at with this work and find ways to lower their carbon footprint and prepare for the impacts of climate change. Number 4 is the Eugene Climate Collaborative. So this group was a key part of the CAP 2.0, and they'll continue to convene around different topics moving forward. For example, we've already started to convene around electric vehicles and to talk about how we can collaborate to move forward together as we try and increase EVs in our community. And we'll identify other topics collectively and continue to collaborate and work together to hopefully move forward together in a way that's faster and better for our community. The 5th component is the sustainability business engagement strategy. The CAP 2.0 process did not include the development of a strategy to work with businesses across the community. We worked with the chamber and particular voices in the community, but not something that was across the community. So it's something we've wanted to do, but haven't had the capacity to do yet. So over the next year, we'll be reaching out to organizations like the chamber and Green Lane and begin to think through how we can support businesses. And we'll report back to you all in 2021 with some more details here. And then finally, reporting and accountability. This was one of the core themes that emerged from the ad hoc work group. And you can see here, we've come up with 3 different components to get at this one. So first, the CRO annual report. The annual report will include a qualitative progress report on the CAP 2.0 and a summary of key initiatives and work areas for the year ahead. We've thought a lot about this report and in particular about the timing. A piece of the feedback that we heard through this process was that folks want to be able to engage in the budget process more fully. So by releasing this report in the fall, we hope that folks will be able to understand where we've been and where we're going and be able to use that information to think about how they would like to advocate for city funds on an annual basis. And then I'll also mention that we hope to share this report and get feedback from the equity panel and the Sustainability Commission each year, and then also, of course, share with City Council. The second component is the CAP 2.0 dashboard. The dashboard, we expect to have about 10 key metrics that line up with the CAP 2.0 with the goal that people can easily track how we're doing on our climate work in an accessible way. And the Sustainability Commission has agreed to help us develop that dashboard after we finish up this CAP 2.0 process. And then third, in alignment with the CRO, the city will update its internal and community-wide greenhouse gas emissions inventories every 2 years. So then there are just a couple other components that came up here. First, some folks on the ad hoc work group suggested that we form a climate community advisory committee. So I wanted to talk about that a little bit. The outcomes that I heard that these folks wanted to achieve by forming this new committee was to have a group that could help plan implementation steps for the CAP 2.0 and to have a group that could help track accountability. I believe that some of the steps outlined above will help get to some of those outcomes that the group members brought up. And additionally, I think a next step on this work is to work with the Sustainability Commission to see how we can modify their work plan to help achieve those outcomes. At this point, I want to see if we can accomplish those outcomes that folks are seeking with the existing resources. So those are our next steps there. And then the last thing I'll talk about here is just neighborhood involvement. Councilor Surratt asked about that in our last work session, and I brought that up with the work group as well. So there are 3 ideas that came up around how we could engage neighborhoods in this work. First, you probably noticed we added a component to the individual household and now neighborhood campaign. As I mentioned, this work is really meant to activate people wherever they're at around our climate work. And it seems like a natural extension and a pretty minor extension to think about how we can package things up for neighborhood associations and other community-based organizations that really work at that neighborhood level to easily engage with the folks that they work with. So we'll be thinking about that as we roll out that campaign. Second, I think we can ask the Sustainability Commission to look at how they can engage at the neighborhood level effectively. They've already been doing this over the past year. They've been asking themselves and looking at how they can change how they do their own business so that they hear from the community, different community members in new ways. This was all, of course, pre-COVID, but they were looking at could they hold their meetings at different locations around the community and really having good conversations about how they could hear from new voices. So I think mentioning that this is a council priority to them, they'll be happy to think about that more. And they also, at this time, have $5,000 in our budget to provide community grants. And I think, again, asking them to think about just geographic diversity as they award those grants is something that they'd be willing to do. And then finally, as the ad hoc work group member pointed out, because we are in this new stage of public meetings, I think there's a new opportunity for staff here as well, where in the past we would go to different neighborhood associations upon request and would have to do maybe 20 different meetings to reach people. I think now there's a different kind of opportunity to perhaps reach a broader swath of neighborhoods via a single meeting with breakout sessions and so on. So we'll think more about that as we move forward as well. There's some equity issues with that I want to acknowledge, but we'll keep trying to be creative and reach those neighborhoods. And then finally, the next steps for the CAP 2.0. So we'll release the revised document in early July, and then we'll have 3 work sessions in July with you all. So the first work session, we'll walk through the document pretty slowly. It's a 90-minute work session, so we hope to answer your questions and start to get your feedback then. We'll have another work session on July 15th to continue to hear your feedback, and then we hope to bring the document back for approval at the July 27th work session. And with that, I'll stop sharing my screen.
Great. Thank you so much, Chelsea. This was, I just want all of the counselors to recognize what a heavy lift this was to get through this process with that many participants and concerns. I see you, Betty, so I'll put you on the list. And coordinate all this even through the pandemic. So thank you very much. It was really extraordinary work and a really interesting number of sessions. I have Alan, Betty, and then Claire.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. I really wanted to thank Chelsea for the amount of work that she's done. Really amazing, compiling a lot of different stuff and working through all the committee work and in a trying time and doing it with grace and elegance and getting stuff done at the same time is commendable. And Jason Dedrick for being a superb facilitator during our process. There aren't very many processes where at the end, some of the naysayers of the group ended up saying, I want to let everybody know I felt heard and included. And I think that's hats off to both Chelsea, but also mostly to Jason for making a process that really worked. We didn't start with a process that was totally laid out either. We started with a process that didn't have a real definitive path. So we kind of created it as we went. And I think that worked really well. Maybe lessons learned for future things on police reform. We ended up with lots of ideas, which is kind of the point, over 300 of them. They're all in the appendix, but we summarized them into that 72 pieces that we could look at. I think people learned that it's a lot more difficult than it appears to actually take an action and may put it in, or take an idea and turn it into an action item that is quantified and budgeted and committed to. And so I think that is the most of the stuff that was in the first draft of the report has all that. The second half is stuff that we still need to work on, but it's a great list for us to pick off of to be able to get to our goals and maintain that momentum. So I think Chelsea is smart to use the Sustainability Commission to do this work. Maybe we could even rename it the Climate and Sustainability Commission and have it have that kind of moniker. But all in all, I think excellent work, product, excellent process, great ideas from the community. Thanks to the group that helped put it together on the ad hoc committee. And we have one thing that I walk away from is that we have tons of work to do, and we're not short of ideas and action items to do over the next 5 to 10 years. So I'm glad Chelsea's rather young so she can work on this the rest of her career.
Thank you. Betty.
Thank you. I'm repeating what Alan said, I guess, but I think that's a good idea to have the Sustainability Commission be the group that works on accountability. It seems like the natural thing. And I think it would be good if the Sustainability Commission offered members to speak at various neighborhood groups, and all the neighborhood groups. Actually, you couldn't do them all at once, but neighborhood groups frequently are looking for a program. And it's something that I think over a year or so, you ought to be able to get to all the neighborhood groups with members who are willing to go out and speak to them. Your idea about having the meetings in different places, I don't think is, my experience is that doesn't work. If it's a meeting of well, if we had a city hall, the meeting should be a city hall, but where everybody knows where it is. But I was on the police commission for a while, a long time ago, and we had meetings scattered around and nobody came. We went to one school principal demanded that asked his teachers to demand that the students would come, and they did for credit. And when we met at the law school, a couple of law students came, but mainly it was better to be in a central place where people knew where it was. Thank you.
Thank you. Claire, and then Jennifer.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Chelsea, for the good presentation and the great work. I want to echo what Alan said about, this is a big lift, and you've done a really excellent job of organizing the information and working with the committee. I also want to agree with what Alan and Betty said about really asking the Sustainability Commission to hold the work in the way that the community members were suggesting, creating a whole new committee. We've got limited resources. I think we need to really leverage the infrastructure that we already have, and it does definitely seem that the Sustainability Commission is the right group to ask to hold that. And I like Betty's suggestion of asking committee members if they'd be willing to take presentations to neighborhood association meetings rather than expecting staff to do that. I think that will create even greater bonds between community members around engaging in this work. I also appreciate working to align the annual report with the budget cycle so that there's some ability to speak to budget related items for moving our CAP forward. And then regarding bringing those, 300 plus ideas from the community into the work, I think that's excellent. And that can really be tricky at times. But I think even the example you gave around better supporting bike ownership was very thoughtful and not something I would have automatically thought of as connected to our CAP. But it obviously is once you started to describe that. So I think that really speaks to the value of seeking greater public input beyond our, great dedicated committee members who have volunteered to take their time to help with this process. So I want to commend that effort too. Thanks.
Thank you. Jennifer.
Yeah, thanks. Sorry, my screen is weird. My computer died yesterday and I am using an iPad, so I'm trying to make it work. So thank you, Chelsea. I think it was a great presentation, and I agree with the other counselors who have encouraged you to support the sustainability commissions, reaching out to our neighborhood and using them as a resource in this work. I think they're well positioned and a good group to be able to do that. I was also really glad to hear the reconvening of the equity panel, although it seems like it might be nice, instead of reconvening it every once in a while, to just have it be an ongoing, you just touch in every once in a while, and it's not such a reconvening thing as that you just don't meet every month, or it's just touching base as you guys need each other to help in the work. And I think it's been a really good example for how we should be doing planning throughout our city organization. You guys have really taken the lead in that area, and so I would encourage you to keep doing that. And I also just want to take an opportunity to thank you and and Ethan for being willing to meet with us individually and go over things in more detail that it's harder to do in these meetings. And I've really gotten a lot out of that, and I appreciate you taking the time to do that.
Okay, Emily.
Thanks. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Chelsea. I've watched this evolve since I started. Wow, what a journey, what a lot of challenges. And we keep throwing new ones at you all the time. Having been lucky enough to be on the ad hoc committee and on the sustainability committee and on the human rights committee, I just thank you to the other counselors who've put it all into such great words. And I look forward to our implementation. And I agree the equity panel is really an essential part of it. I look forward to seeing it in print, and just want to thank you for being so very responsive to the many opinions and ideas, and being so inclusive, because I know many members of the community have been frustrated and may still be frustrated, but we listen to them, and that's really our job. So thank you to you and Jason and Ethan and everybody who's been helping. It's been tough, and you're very much appreciated, so thank you.
Thank you. Any other counselors who haven't had a chance yet need to say something? I'll just jump in. I want to say two things that I think are really inspiring about this. And as hard as this work is on sort of rethinking how we live in community with respect to the challenges of climate change and population growth, that the fact that we had 300 ideas come through a community survey speaks volumes about our potential as a community to make the changes that we need to make. That's a lot of input, and really valuable. And some of those ideas are, out there, and some of them are closer in and easier to do, but they're all really, it just speaks volumes of our community. And then the second thing, I'm just echo what Alan said, which is this process was really a positive process. And in the beginning, people came to the first meeting pretty skeptical and a little cynical about, okay, I'm committing to another long meeting and I'm not sure where it's going to go. And then by the end, as Alan said, they were saying, thank you. I felt heard and really listened to. And so I do think that the process itself is one that we, in addition to wanting to replicate the work of the equity panel and incorporate that into our ongoing work, this kind of process where you know what the vision is of where you need to go, and you know where you are, but you're not, before you even begin the conversation with an ad hoc committee, you're not kind of preordaining what you think the steps need to be. You let that evolve with that community engagement. And this was done so successfully. And I think as we look at other equity work, and as we look at our, the police reform conversations and all of the other conversations we have, this was really a great model. So I'm also really grateful to Chelsea and Jason and Samantha for making that work so well. It was really inspiring to see how it shaped up at the end. So thank you for your work. Any other last minute comments? Okay, excellent. Thanks so much. We can close that agenda item out and move on to our next item, which is Parks and Recreation Bond and Levy updates.
I think we are joined by the Craigs. Double check here. At least a Craig.
Yes, I'm here. And let me start my video. Hi there. All right, good afternoon, Mayor, City Council, and Manager. Thank you for the time to provide you with an update on our Parks and Recreation Bond and Levy work. My name is Craig Carnegie. I'm your Parks and Open Space Division Manager. I'm here to present with Craig Smith, your Recreation Division Manager. We also have Jeff Perry, your Facilities Division Manager, and Carolyn Burke, your Park Planning and Ecological Services Manager, on the line here to answer questions after the presentation, if there are any. I will try to share my screen with you now to start the presentation. Let's see. Everybody see that? All right. So this update is about the work accomplished since the bond and levy were passed in spring 2018 and the work we will be doing over the next year. Obviously, we are all now working in a very different world than before COVID-19, and we continue to see changes that are rapidly occurring to not only our parks, but our economy and society. I'd like to say up front that one thing that hasn't changed is that parks and recreation facilities have been and will continue to be welcoming and safe places for everyone in our community. Throughout the stay home, stay safe order from the governor, parks provided refuge and solace for so many. Our parks have been very heavily used by people needing to get outside and get fresh air and exercise, relax in nature, and find relief from stress and depression. Eugene has been very fortunate throughout this public health crisis to have such an amazing park system right outside our doorsteps for everyone to use and enjoy. And as our rec services ramp back up, the community is showing excitement for all the programs and camps being offered. Back in March, guidance from the National Center for Disease Control advised communities to directly support homeless populations with policies that supported sheltering in place to further prevent the spread of COVID-19. In response, the City of Eugene created designated temporary shelter sites at 3 recreation facilities and paused enforcement of camping rules in parks and the right-of-way. And after the tragic death of George Floyd, our parks provided a platform for free speech and peaceful protest against injustice and inequality. Long before these events occurred, Parks and Recreation strive to achieve equity throughout the park system, and we now intend to triple down on those efforts moving forward. I cannot state strongly enough that parks are for all people and everyone must have equal access to these invaluable public spaces. Parks have the power to bring people together, and we are committed to working towards that goal. Additionally, our Parks and Recreation staff are valuable subject matters with diverse skills and lived experiences who have a profound devotion to this community. They are stewards of our most precious resources and a driving force for community vitality. I want to thank every one of them for their service to making lives better in Eugene every day and helping to bring people of all walks of life together. Now on to the bond and levy update. I'm going to provide a pre-COVID levy update and then what's been going on since the pandemic arrived. And I'll also provide a Parks Capital Bond update and what we expect to see in the works over the next year. And then I'll pass it along to Craig Smith, who will talk specifically about our rec services and facility projects. So as you all know, in 2018, the council referred a $39 million Parks and Recreation Capital Bond and a 5-year, $3.1 million annual operating levy to the May 2018 ballot. Both were overwhelmingly passed by the voters. With these new resources in place, we have been able to start planning for and building new parks and refurbish older parks and recreation facilities, restore much of the maintenance services that were lost, improve public safety in parks, and address illicit activities. First and foremost to starting all this work was to establish accountability and transparency. A citizen advisory board was formed last year to ensure oversight for how bond and levy funds are used. The Parks and Recreation Advisory Board meets quarterly and is responsible for reviewing end-of-year reporting to ensure that spending complies with the intent of the ballot measures. The board then forwards a report and any comments to the city manager, who provides the report to the city council and makes it publicly available. The board is made up of 7 members who serve 2-year terms. An independent audit is also conducted annually on the use of the bond funds. and a final audit report for 2019 was included in your packet, as well as a completed 2019 annual report. These reports and a letter of approval from the Parks and Recreation Advisory Board were also made available to the public. And on to our levee work. The mantra in park operations and maintenance is to make parks clean, green, and safe. Year one of the levee was spent retooling and restoring operating and maintenance services. We were able to reopen 6 restrooms that were previously closed due to past budget reductions or vandalism. These include restrooms at Sladden, Monroe, and Hendricks Parks, Sheldon Playground, and Cal Young Sports Park, and the restrooms at Churchill Sports Park were also reopened on Saturdays and Sundays. We also increased park custodial frequencies, including litter and trash pickup and restroom cleanings throughout the park system. Turf care best management practices were improved to grow healthier turf through aeration, overseeding, proper water management, and lime and fertilizer applications. And we're now able to do more preventative tree care in parks, which should make park trees healthier, attractive, and more resilient to winter storms. Over 5.3 miles of walking and running trails were resurfaced over the past year, and wildfire risk abatement work began in many of our natural areas. We will continue to improve wildfire safety in these areas and others throughout the summer. 2 dedicated police officers were hired to patrol parks and enforce park rules. We also now have 2 full-time and 2 seasonal park ambassadors, and this team welcomes people to the parks, reminds them of park rules, and is skilled in de-escalation and crisis intervention. In addition to this team, a new illicit activity response team was created with a focus on the cleanup of camps and dumping areas, issuing 24-hour camp cleanup notices, and providing graffiti abatement throughout the park system. So on our levee work by the numbers, you can see the increases in custodial services in our developed parks, as well as the increase in available restrooms, the number of miles of newly resurfaced trails, and a significant increase in our trailhead custodial services, the makeup of our park safety team, as well as the new illicit cleanup team, which since May of 2018, we've cleaned up over 3,000 camps in the park system. And we have a 5-fold increase in our work doing graffiti abatement throughout the park system. We've also added numerous trash cans and park benches and park picnic tables throughout the system as well since May 2018. And now I'm going to go on to the COVID-19 impacts and response. When the shutdown occurred in March, we went to our continuity of operations plan where only essential services were performed and staffing levels were reduced. Those staff reporting were placed on a rotating schedule with staggered start times in order to reduce individual exposure. We increased personal protective equipment and safety protocols were implemented, and other staff who could worked remotely. Essential services started with garbage removal, cleaning services, limited mowing, homeless outreach, and illicit activity response. We closed play areas and sports courts at the direction of the governor and put up social distancing signage. We placed portable restrooms and hand washing stations in several of our parks. We also began providing outreach to homeless people in parks in the form of health screenings, sharing COVID and social service information, providing food, and picking up trash. In partnership with our Eugene Police Park Resource Officers, we responded to a significant uptick in vandalism, graffiti, and other illicit activities across the system. We also safely kept vital capital projects moving forward, like the downtown Riverfront Park project, in order to lessen the impacts on the local economy and address priority park needs. With Lane County recently having moved into phase 2 restrictions of Oregon's COVID-19 response, park operations and maintenance have gone back to regular staffing levels, but things will look different in parks for a while as we catch up from months of shelter-in-place encampments throughout the system. We are gradually returning to addressing camping in parks while we simultaneously help the community find other places for the unhoused to be. And now for the park bond projects. The first bond-funded project was completed late last summer with the Tugman Park playground renovation. Many other projects have kicked off since the bond measure was approved in May 2018. Of the 38 bond-funded projects, 21 of them are now underway in some form. This map shows the distribution of parks and recreation projects across the city, with projects in the legend being ones we are working on this summer. Staff in parks and open space, public works engineering, facilities, and recreation have kept moving forward on projects through the health crisis while instituting new COVID protocols to keep construction sites safe. Projects that are actively in construction or will be this summer include the downtown Riverfront Park, Echo Hollow Pool, Campbell Community Center, Amazon Park Running Trail, and the Ridgeline Habitat Enhancement work. I'll provide a few highlights of a couple of the parks and open space projects we're going to work on before handing it over to Craig Smith. And the first one is the downtown Riverfront. We continue to work on the downtown Riverfront Park, as you know. Last summer's site preparations included building demolition, lessening the steepness of the riverbanks by removing soil and replanting the riverbank with over 24,000 plants. This summer, we look to construct major park elements such as bicycle and pedestrian paths, a restroom, seating, overlooks, and a sculptural art pavilion. This 3-acre park site will have a uniquely urban character that also pays respect to the river's importance to Eugene's past, present, and future. The park design integrates interpretive art pieces throughout the site that tell local stories of ecology, industry, and community. A story that is difficult to tell, but critically important to understand, is the history of racism and Black relations in Eugene. A multi-level drinking fountain pictured in the center will feature the story of the Across the Bridge community, which once existed in today's Alton Baker Park. The Across the Bridge community was home to most of Eugene's Black residents for several decades, as they were not allowed to reside within the city limits. In the 1950s, the community was raised to make room for the construction of the Ferry Street Bridge, displacing those families and forcing them to disperse to other areas outside the city. We are grateful for the help of a focus group of Black elders, historians, and community members who shaped this piece to both reveal a painful past and an inclusive vision for the future. Another project I want to highlight is Santa Clara Community Park. Excuse me. Santa Clara has long been underserved with developed parks and recreation facilities, and so it is great to now be collaborating with the community on the design of a 35-acre community park to serve those residents. A project kickoff workshop drew 126 people to a public meeting in February, and another 148 people have weighed in through online surveys. While we would normally offer several opportunities for in-person workshops throughout the design process, we are borrowing some of the tools we successfully use in the development of the Parks and Recreation System Plan by using a combination of online technology and meeting people where they are. As we speak, Little Red, our traveling outreach trailer, is getting a tune-up before hitting the road this summer. Construction of the first phase of Santa Clara Community Park is anticipated to be completed in 2022. And with that, I will end and pass it over to Craig Smith. Craig? I am not hearing Craig, and
I'm seeing Craig and I'm seeing him on the piece. So I don't, Craig, can you signal if you're hearing us? Okay.
Are you trying to share your screen?
He's got a muting problem. Okay, Craig, we're still, you want to send a note in the chat and let us know what's going on, or?
Or Craig, you could try to call me and I could try to put your verbal up here.
This may be the same issue Betty experienced on Monday.
Is
There's the little arrow. Craig, can you hear us?
His microphone doesn't work.
Well, but I'm not sure he's hearing us.
He said he's giving us a, he's heard us. Yep.
The little arrow next to the microphone has a series of choices if you click on that. And one of them is the settings at the bottom. Gives you a volume setting.
You're coming.
Yep, that works.
The microphone array then. So I switched my selected microphone.
Okay,
Got
perfect. Yeah, we've got you now.
Thank you. So another educational moment in COVID. Craig Carnegie, you got me, so you can move the slide.
okay.
So essentially, Craig's already mentioned that one of the first actions Recreation took in COVID response is to set up the temporary sanctioned unhoused camps at our community centers at Amazon, Hilliard, and Peterson Barn Community Center. So next slide. The second early call for recreation resources was coordinating with 4J to set up emergency childcare for frontline workers at South Eugene High School. And we set that up in about 3 or 4 days and worked with 4J for about a month before we decided to then move our childcare into our own facility at Sheldon Community Center. And then soon after that, we started operating childcare at Amazon, Peterson Barn, and Sheldon, and we're continuing to do so as of today. So next slide. So because library, recreation, and cultural services' greatest role, and we feel our greatest responsibility, is to make connections to our Eugene community, once our facilities closed, we kind of lurched for a second. But very soon after that, we created what was called our social connectivity task team. And with that, our general goal was to reconnect with our patrons. And so we began operating in ways we never previously had. We elevated our virtual and online programming skill set, like a lot of people did, with a large variety of social media tools, many of which I was never familiar with until we started all this. So examples of that type of outreach in culture, in library, in LRCS started with cultural services, where the Holt Center facilitated a citywide virtual talent show. I'm not sure if any of you entered that, but it was a great talent show, got a lot of community interest, and the Holt Center is continuing to offer their happy hour, their Holt Center happy hour each week with local talent. Our community events program within cultural services also completed a virtual National Dance Week, as well as created the Slow Roll Sundays. I'm not sure if you've heard of that, but it's a disco parade that went through several of our neighborhoods in the last month. Our beloved library really responded well with offering a large variety of ebooks to its patrons, and also provided tons of programming for story times, and also created virtual book clubs. In recreation, we actually did manage to continue some critical services, such as our energy assistance program that helps low-income seniors continue to get credits on their e-web bills. It was critical we got that continued. We also have we had our Teen Court program respond virtually, so that all those young folks in Teen Court could meet their court requirements and continue to work through those issues. We also connected with patrons both with a variety of live content and a variety of recordings. We created virtual wellness and fitness classes, and for the first time ever, our athletics program created an esports competition. So that was well received. But most critically, we had trouble connecting with patrons, primarily seniors, that had very limited online access or virtual access, and were also physically isolated. So in the first several months of COVID, we made thousands of phone calls. Now, those phone calls started out as cancellations, and refund calls, and they ended up turning into what we referred to as wellness checks. And that was all over LRCS, and those wellness checks were excellent. Eventually, we actually had patrons essentially calling our front desk staff back just to chat, just to call in and say hi and have a conversation. So all in all, the good old telephone worked pretty well in COVID for making some serious connections. So next slide. So the photo on the right is a young man swimming in an Amazon pool, and that's our summer recreation guide cover. And we were about 5 days away from sending it to the printer when we decided not to print because there's no reason to print. So in a snap like that, our summer programming was essentially wiped out in March. So closing happened very fast for us. And then just when we began to get our feet underneath us and get going with some virtual programming, of course, the governor began to define when we could start to reopen our facilities. So we entered into that realm of interpreting all the various reopening guidelines for all the types of facilities and the types of services we offered, and starting to navigate that. Fortunately, we had already been meeting the most stringent requirements and criteria by offering our essential childcare for the last 3 months. And we also stayed in close communication with our peers at Willamette Lane and River Road Park District, while also staying connected with our state organization for Parks and Recreation and our National Parks and Recreation Association. So we began phase 2 last week when we started registration of folks for June 8th, last Monday. And we'll begin operating our summer camps and a variety of other altered activities beginning next Monday, the 22nd of June. And that will include the opening of Amazon Pool. But things will certainly be different. There will definitely, the biggest difference we'll have is that our capacity to serve the volume of people we normally do is not there currently. An example of that, I guess if you use Amazon Pool as an example, if you drive by Amazon Pool, a typical July day, you might see up to 700 to 1,000 people in it. You drive by next week or in the next couple of weeks, you'll probably see 40, 50 maybe. Very limited. So with that, next slide, we can transition, Craig. So there was a kind of a silver lining to COVID, and that is our recreation bond projects. Next slide. So this is Campbell Community Center and the Campbell renovation. These are the walls going up in the new wing a few weeks ago. This facility has been closed fully, and construction is moving on very efficiently and very effectively. And our facility supervisor is shown there on the right side of the screen, making sure that that wall is plumb for us. Next slide. This should be a flyover if you can click on the play. So this is Campbell Community Center with a little drone from Parks and Open Space. And it's about 10 days old, so you can see it coming over the top, looking at the new wing in relationship to the building and the gym. And that's a 6,000 square foot new wing. Settled in nicely there. It does not show all the work that is being done in the old building. There's a lot of things going on in the old building that'll get it nice and freshened up for us, but we can go to the next slide, Craig. There we go. This is a rendering of what would be the west entrance, or the brand new entrance to Campbell Community Center, as folks come in with the old building on the right and they shop on the left, and the new facility, the new wing, straight ahead. So we're expecting completion of this project to be in September and October, and we hope to be able to open it up at that time. Next slide. This is Echo Hollow, and this slide shows the excavation of the additional exterior pools at Echo Hollow. And as most of you know, Echo Hollow Pool is probably, I believe, one of the largest consumer of energy of any City of Eugene facility. Yeah, you're shaking your head. So in terms of carbon footprint, this is our Sasquatch. So we've certainly made it a priority to reduce the carbon footprint of this expanded facility, we are bringing in a energy-saving electric heat pump from Italy that will eliminate the use of natural gas. We are creating a system that will also allow us to control the temperature of each pool separately, which is a big upgrade from what it was, where we only had one made to control indoor and outdoor pools at one time. And we'll also have a large array of photovoltaic solar panels on the large roof of Echo Hollow Pool. Next slide. This should be a little drone flyover as well. So you can see, because of the extensive outdoor space we had on that property, that we're able to make significant upgrades as far as large tanks on the outside that will definitely inspire our competitive swimming and our fitness classes. And we'll also have the ability to have another recreational tank, which will be huge out in that area. This will give you a gander of mostly the indoor tank has stayed the same except for one section of it. So you can go next slide, Craig, thanks. And so here would be the rendering of the completed Echo Hollow Pool. Right now we're definitely on time and ready to roll. We are looking to reopen this in December. And so what it would look like, essentially, if you remember the upgrade of Amazon Pool 21 years ago, this will be very similar in comparison to that upgrade from that pool to what it has now. So we're really looking forward to it. So as construction of this goes on, we are currently working with Robertson Sherwood, the architect, on the Sheldon Pool schematic design. And that design should be completed this summer. So we can actually go out for bid on Sheldon Pool next fall. And then when Echo Pool is completely constructed, we'll begin construction on Sheldon in the following winter. So, and that'll take about a year itself to be completed. With that, next slide, we'll close out. But as we close, I would just like to acknowledge the excellent work of our facilities division and the staff that are managing these renovation projects. And I know Jeff Perry was already mentioned. He's in attendance here, and he'll be able to respond to any other questions as needed. So with that, thanks. And we'll open it up for questions, I think.
Thank you so much. I have to thank both of you both for the incredible work that your teams have done, but also it really is great to hear feel-good stories and right now, and the excitement of what's happening with the programming, the parks, the pools. It gives us all this sort of confidence that yes, life goes on, and actually it's going to be better, and we've made some good investments. So thank you. I'm really inspired by the work of your respective teams and staffs and everything that happened. So I have Claire and then Alan in the queue.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you for that. Yes, I agree with the mayor. Really nice to get some good news, reminder of the good work our community has asked us to undertake and to see some of it come into fruition. Just first, I wanted to acknowledge our in-house counselor tech support in the form of Counselor Clark. Once again, it's helping us stay connected during our meetings. That's appreciated. And on the Riverfront Park, I am so happy to see that our commitment to honor the local history of this part of our city and its significance of that area to our African-American community is moving forward. When we first looked at that master plan, that was something that I called out as, you know, not wanting to get it lost. And I was worried that it would wind up being neglected or significantly altered. And so I really want to thank everyone who had a role in making sure that this piece of the park plan has been brought forward and will be implemented in the way it was envisioned all those years ago. So that's super exciting. On the recreation staff, you know, almost as through happenstance, creating a wellness check protocol for our seniors, that is just amazing to hear. And really an important piece of social support for seniors who, you know, really were probably struggling with other ways to connect with people. So thanks for sharing that, Craig. And then lastly, very pleased to hear the energy efficiency that's being put into play at Echo Hollow Pool. That's also very inspiring and really shows what we can do when we have the support of the community and the focus on that kind of sustainable infrastructure development. So kudos for that work as well as everything. Thank you.
Thank you. Alan and then Chris.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. Those drone flyovers are very cool. That was excellent to see. It's so great way of visualizing what's going on and the progress we're making. I can't believe Amazon Pool was 21 years ago. I swum there a lot. It's still in great shape. So hopefully all of our stuff gets done like that in Echo Hollow. Double check mark on the carbon footprint and the energy savings of that. That's awesome. Is that new pool going to be yards or meters?
It's going to be 25 meters one direction and 25 yards
the other, as are
Versatile.
all new pools.
Yep.
Someday we'll actually just have it be a square. The Wellness for Seniors program, that's awesome. Great innovation. I very much appreciate and think it's going to be a great addition to the Riverfront Park. The Across the River exhibit is going to be a good tribute to our history, even though it's dark in our past. You know, the thing about these bonds is they're actually our own little stimulus project. These projects are building projects that create jobs in the community, and so my ask of the Parks and Open Space Department is keep up the good work, and please do more because we need it, and keep up the good work. Thanks.
Okay, Chris and then Mike.
Thanks. I just wanted to add my support and congratulations. I won't try to, add or duplicate what other people have already said. So the one point I would focus on is how incredibly appreciative I am of you being able to keep your eye on the long-term goals, which is what the capital bond projects are, and do them in a sustainable, environmentally safe, but also strategic way. I really appreciate that. And at the same time, I'm really kind of impressed at your ability to be adaptable and flexible to the changing landscape, whether it's because of COVID or because of other situations. And that really impresses me that you can say, we need to shift gears and start doing it this way. And without even losing a beat, you're able to do that and take something that you were doing in response and actually turning it into a positive, not only in terms of the calling program, but some of the other things you've done around utilizing YouTube for videos and other kinds of technology advances. Those are all amazing that you're able to look at a situation and say, how can we adapt this to make it better? And so with the bond, you're keeping your eye on the ball and you're getting those projects done. But I really want to compliment you for your ability to take short-term needs and short-term situations and use them to produce something that's even better. I mean, that really is a great thing to be able to do. So I'm impressed not only with your long-term thinking, but also with your ability to be flexible and adaptable in the short term. Thank you very much.
Mike and then Jennifer.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you to Clara for your nice comment. I appreciate that. Thank you to the Craigs for a great report there. Craig squared, however we're doing that these days. Odd question. I know this is a report on bond funds and how we're using them with those larger capital projects. But I noticed too that we have an upcoming discussion on SDC methodology. So I'm going to ask you for the impacts to those projects you just showed us. If we decide, and I'm speaking specifically to those projects, if we decide to keep the Parks SDC methodology where it currently is without change.
Carolyn, do you want to take that question?
Sure. So, Councilor Clark, I believe, can you hear me?
You sound like an alien.
The Sigourney Weaver thing going on there.
think the short answer is that they will be significantly impacted.
Significantly.
That is
You
correct.
help me with that.
That sounds good, Carol.
Yeah, you sound good.
Okay.
Now.
You can hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. So we do need to update our methodology in order to make many of these projects eligible for SDCs. And so that's something that we talked about at our last work session with you, was the ability to adopt the project list and at least key components of the methodology in order to keep moving forward with these bond projects.
So these projects aren't really at all just about the bonds that were passed. We're relying on increasing housing prices to do them too.
No, we're not. They're not necessarily relying on an increased fee, but we do need to add the projects to the project list in order to make them eligible to receive SDCs.
Gotcha, understood entirely. So I'll try and ask a better initial question, which was, what if we see no increase in the amount of SDCs we charge? What will be the impact to these projects we've just seen?
We will still be able to move forward with these projects even without a fee increase.
Thank you. That's what I was looking for, because when we have that conversation about SDCs here in another week or two, at least we can rule out that we will put any of these projects in jeopardy by not increasing SDCs. Thank you.
It's the future projects.
Okay, Jennifer and then Emily.
Yeah, thanks, Mayor. I just wanted to say how impressed I always am with the projects that are coming out of our Parks and Rec staff. You started with the riverfront, and I was like, wow, that's amazing. And the next one, wow, that's amazing. And that just kept being my reaction for every project you talked about. And it's not like it's the first time I'm seeing it. It's just every time I see these projects and they get closer and closer to being reality, it's so impressive. All the different things that have been thought through to get to these final projects. So I just wanted to say it's an amazing job. But also in your presentation, there was this 100 miles with city manager Sarah Mederi poster. And I'm like, I want to go 100 miles with Sarah Mederi. So
oh my God, I only want to go 50.
Today. So I hope everyone will sign up. I think we can do this, it's a great time. So, your programs too are always great. And the variety and the disco parades, I can't believe I missed that. So you're doing a great job. And I really appreciate the creativeness during this difficult time to be like, how can we serve our community? How can we be out there doing stuff? And just great.
Emily.
Thank you. Yeah, we didn't get notice about this 100 miles and it already started 2 days ago, I got to know how to sign up. I knew if I waited till the end that my colleagues would cover everything. So I'm not going to go over that again, but I do want to say, good job. Keep it up. Thank you.
Great, thank you all very much. I do think that, among the many challenges council could face, doing 100 miles, walking, rolling, or riding with the city manager would be a really good one, right? That would be a quick one to check off for the summer activity. So I'm holding you all to it.
I think it was a not so subtle hint from staff that I needed to start moving. So I've only got 1 mile in, so you guys can jump in and catch up with me.
We could get to walking meetings, and I think it wouldn't be a bad idea. I'll put this out to you that I like to check in with counselors every month, and I'm happy to do a walking meeting with any one of you in this.
That's a good idea.
So let's, I've got a Fitbit, we can count it. And so thank you all. Really, Mike, did you want to make a comment?
I was just going to say, before we turn the next council meeting into an episode of West Wing, I just wanted to say congratulations to Sarah on your first meeting officially as city manager.
Yes.
Thank you, Councilor Clark. Thanks to all of you.
So much better.
fits you just right. There you go.
Eventually, our local newspaper will catch up and figure out we've done this.
That's right. In a few days. It'll give them a few days. All right. Thank you all very much. With that, we are adjourned early. Have a good afternoon, everybody.
Thanks. Bye.